Nice to meet you, Deborah. Boy, I love meeting people's moms. It's like reading an instruction manual as to why they're nuts. Let's go!
Ted Lasso is an exceptional character at creating and building rapport, managing relationships. He's the protagonist of a comedy TV show about an American football coach who was asked to train an English Premier League soccer team. The only catch is he doesn't know anything about soccer. This video is about how to think like Ted Lasso. The first way of building rapport is to use the person's name. Most of us love to hear our names. It's a sign of recognition. It's like a magic spell that you can immediately apply. Just like he does here with the waiting driver at the airport.
Hey, how you doing? Well, my name's Ted. What's yours?
Ollie.
Ollie, all right.
Let me get your bags.
Oh, no, Ollie. We packed them, we'll carry them.
He said his name twice. He does the same thing with Nathan, the kit
One
man.
step ahead. Hey, what's your name, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, no one ever asked my name.
Poor Nathan was so shocked that he couldn't speak. Primarily because of the power distance between them and the fact that he used to be ignored. Using a person's name is common sense, but few people do so, and most don't do it enough. Years after Napoleon Bonaparte became Napoleon Bonaparte, he met a man that he talked to decades earlier. He called him by name and asked about his family. The man was utterly terrified, not because Napoleon was an emperor, but because Napoleon remembered him. Now, of course, Napoleon had a photographic memory, but you can remember people's names too using this cool trick. What you do is make a mental image of the person, give them an action, and assign to them a location. For example, I would imagine our Nathan, this character over here, and Nathan Stratham cleaning the soccer kits together in that stadium. If their name is difficult or long, break it down and make them in the form of smaller and smaller images. Ted does this immediately again.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're ready.
Oh, it's Nathan.
Nathan! Oh, I love that name. Hey, love your hot dogs.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, good. You all got Nathan's hot dogs here.
No.
Okay.
Making a joke associating Nate with a hot dog eating competition by the same name. It's a silly trick, but it's very effective. And make sure to do it internally. Be an includer. Just like we need to be acknowledged as our own person, we also like to belong somewhere, to be included in some group or activity.
Oh, God, what?
That is a darn fine sports mix, young fella. Coach, you try this?
No one wants to be left behind. This is why he includes Nathan in the team despite being just a kit man. He listens to what he has to say about the players. He asks for his advice and even game plans and ideas.
Hey, Nate.
Oh, me?
Yeah, until we get another Nate here, I just need you to assume you're my default Nate. Okay?
Right.
Got a question for you.
When Ted joined the team, Nathan was just a punching bag for the other players, and he aimed to change that. Do you know someone around you who has been excluded from activities, conversations, or opportunities? Well, it's your mission to make them feel a part of the group. Don't underestimate the power of the little guy, and don't underestimate the boss's desire to feel like they contributed to the final goal or product. Ted empowered Nathan by using his ideas in games and made him an assistant coach later on. Similarly, you must acknowledge people's ideas and even imitate them, because imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Geometry can create this effect as well. You can understand the dynamic and culture of a company or group just by the geometry of their working space. After he moves on to his new desk, he changes the environment immediately by pushing the desks next to each other instead of far apart like the previous coach. Change the geometry around you. Ted is all about winning people over, and inclusion is one of the best ways to do it. Associate yourself with positive sensations. As a way of doing so, he started bringing his boss freshly baked cookies every day. Now, this won't necessarily work for everyone, but the principle is useful. People who smoke weed develop rapport because they are doing the same activity. People who play football together aren't necessarily best friends because they are best friends. It's because they are doing the same activity. Okay? You usually mistake these good feelings for the person when it's mainly about the action. That's the principle of association. Ads associate their brands with important values like family, loyalty, ambition, and so on. Ted is associating the delicious taste of the cookies with himself. Before I learned to be socially tactful, I used to carry cheap but sweet candy in my pockets as a way of creating this effect. Every time they saw me, they would become joyful because they would remember the taste of candy. It's a form of positive reinforcement. Try it out, regardless of how silly it sounds.
Anywho, we can't really be, good partners unless we get to know each other, right?
Ted.
We're gonna start simple. Real easy one. We're gonna do first concert, best concert. You go ahead and go first.
Get to know the person. To build rapport, sit down with the person and learn more about them and what they care about. A question-answer game is a good starter. Ted does this repeatedly throughout the series, although not always effectively. Ask people questions about themselves. Just make sure that the questions are appropriate, personal, but not intrusive, and somewhat unique to get them to invest. Be curious and not judgmental is one of Ted's mottos. Have you ever asked yourself why people ask about the weather in small talk? Because it's the thing that we have in common. We all live under one sky. Intuitively, we understand that it's important to ask about what people come from because you immediately know their fingerprints, their cultural and socio-political fingerprints. Make them feel as the most important person in the world and they will be hooked. Don't forget to reciprocate and divulge information about yourself as well. And always remember to avoid one-upmanships. Win them over one by one. When Coach Lasso first met his team, he wasn't taken seriously. He didn't earn their respect yet, and most of the players simply ignored him. So he decided to pick them off one by one, starting with the leader Roy Kent, striking the shepherd, earning the respect of the person they respect the most, and win them all in one strike.
He's the one, Coach. We're gonna make an impact here. First domino needs to fall right inside that man's heart.
So he tried to flatter and commend Roy Kent for his work, but that failed because Roy respects action and not words.
What do you want?
It was real fun watching you out there today. The boys really respond to you. It doesn't surprise me, though. You've had a heck of a career.
Thank you. Never thought it would end being coached by Ronald McDonald.
So he decided to shift his focus towards fixing their problems, taking action. He offered a suggestion box to share the recommendations anonymously. Now this is a good way of building morale and creating an open team culture that slowly builds freedom of expression without the fear of the consequences. If your teammates or colleagues or employees are too afraid to share things with you, make an anonymous suggestion box. Most players left insults, but one of them shared a real suggestion.
Boy, that is bad. Somebody ought to check this thing's prostate. Gee.
Which the coach fixed immediately. That person was the captain himself, Roy Kent. And just like that, the coach improved his relationship with Roy. Now ask yourself a question. What problem can I help someone around me to fix? You have 3 days to observe and figure that out and solve their problem. Ted used the strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter strategy again. When he noticed Nathan being bullied constantly by some players, he refused to interfere but left the burden on the leader himself because he knew it would be much more effective. His strategy succeeded because he understood that not every problem has to be directly solved by himself. Borrow the power of others.
Got a question for you. What's the buzz on Sam here? Seems a little down in the dumps.
Yeah, he's been underachieving since he got here from Nigeria.
If you haven't managed to completely gain the leader, aim for the persons that are having the most trouble. Ted learned from the kit man that one of his players, Sam Abisanya, is struggling with morale. His birthday was around, So Ted prepared a birthday celebration for the player, which helped him with the morale in the next match. They ended up losing, but that's a good lesson. Your plans won't always work, and that is okay. Celebrations, funerals, customs, rituals are tools of social conformity and unity. They are designed to unite the people by reminding them of shared positive and negative moments. Use these moments to patch up, maintain relationships, or create new ones. Rituals and customs are also useful in creating the illusion of mystical experiences. When he learned that his players are superstitious and believe that anyone who steps into the specific room will be cursed with a horrible injury or performance, he didn't call them stupid, but created a sacrificial ritual where the players give away a valuable item to alleviate the curse. He even orchestrated a sign that the curse is gone. Understand the power of rituals and use them to create powerful bonds. If he joked around and ridiculed his players, nothing will change. That's law 38. Think as you like but behave like others. If you make a show of going against the times, flaunting your unconventional ideas and unorthodox ways, people will think that you only want attention and that you look down upon them. They will find a way to punish you for making them feel inferior. It is far safer to blend in and nurture the common touch. Share your originality only with tolerant friends and those who are sure to appreciate your uniqueness. Using similar tactics, he won over the entire team. Unify people by giving them a common enemy. At one moment of the series, every player on his team hated one of their members, Jamie Tart. The reason is a spoiler, so I won't mention it.
Come here, you. Now listen up, you little turd birds. Hey, what, you want to make this ball your girlfriend? Congratulations, Isaac. That smart mouth of yours just earned you and the entire team 10 laps. Let's go.
Ted used himself as a common enemy for the team, and he started acting irrationally and aggressively out of habit, giving the players unnecessary punishment. All of this is to offer Jamie the chance to speak up against the situation and unburden his teammates from the punishments, and the trick succeeded.
Alright, coach, we get it. Just stop yelling at everyone.
Okay. You know what, Tart? Practice is canceled. Hit the showers.
While the execution of the strategy was silly, since it's a comedy show, the idea is sound. Everyone started liking Jamie. The common threat of an enemy doesn't have to be a person. It could be an idea or a new rule. If your team is divided, rarely anything can unite it effectively more than a common enemy. Hide your fatigue. In competitive sports, having a mental edge is crucial as a psychological warfare tactic. By appearing confident, you intimidate the opposition and convince yourself that you are unbeatable. This often leads to the other team losing morale and giving up before the game even starts. During the game, you have to make them believe that you can work harder than they are, that you are willing to do more, whatever they aren't willing to do. By hiding your tiredness and fatigue, you intimidate the other person. Sun Tzu said, "All war is based on deception. Appear weak when you're strong and strong when you are weak. If you show signs of weakness, they will impose even more pressure on you to break your will. So, be aware of the signs you give away to people." Lastly, use humor. Ted tells jokes all the time because they accelerate rapport building. Jokes are great at lighting up the mood, lifting up the spirits and morale. So keep it a habit of having a few jokes around that you can use. Watch a stand-up comedy. Watch TV shows that are comedies to intuitively understand the structure of humor. One of my favorite comedians is Stephen Chow. There is a great video on how to tell a joke, and it uses him as an example. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and click on this one over here. You will enjoy it as well. Stay sharp.